Olive found herself in a room with shelves and worktops piled high with mounds of dust. She was wearing an apron decorated with pictures of violins, cellos and bassoons.
Okay, this place could do with a spot of dusting.
Just then, 2 smiling woodworms popped their head out of a dust pile.
Oh, hello,
Said Olive. The woodworms vanished before popping up from another dust pile.
My, you're both quick on your feet. Tummies.
Before either worm had a chance to reply, whoosh! A large net fell over them, sending clouds of dust up into the air. The dust made Olive cough.
Did I get them? Yeah. No. Missed them again.
As the dust cleared, she found herself face to face with a tall wolf wearing an apron just like hers.
Hello. I am Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, instrument maker to the king. This is my workshop.
I'm Olive. Nice to meet you, Wolfgang. But, I don't see any instruments.
This was a cello. This was a violin. And this was a bassoon to be played at the king's birthday concert tonight.
Oh, I don't think you'll get much sound out of those instruments.
This I know. It's those woodworm. As soon as I make any instrument from wood, they eat it. See? If I don't make the bassoon for the king's birthday concert tonight, he will be very upset. You must help me, Olive.
Olive thought hard.
Well, if the woodworm only like to eat wood, maybe you could make a bassoon out of something else.
But what?
Olive looked around at things in the workshop.
A vacuum cleaner, a bicycle pump. I think I may have an idea.
With Wolfgang's help, Olive used the vacuum cleaner's bendy pipe to form the body of the bassoon. Then they used the top of the bicycle pump as its mouthpiece.
Finished!
Now to see how it sounds, yeah?
Wolfgang placed his lips to the bicycle pump mouthpiece and blow.
Is that how a bassoon is supposed to sound, Wolfgang?
Wolfgang stopped playing and shook his head.
No, that sounded terrible.
Just then, Olive remembered how the woodworm had reacted to the sound.
Those greedy woodworm didn't like the noise the bassoon made either. Wolfgang, you start to make your new wooden bassoon for the king's birthday concert. I think I know how I can keep those woodworm away.
Olive blew into the bassoon as she marched up and down. The woodworm couldn't stand the noise, and soon they wiggled away. And at last, Wolfgang finished making what would be his finest wooden bassoon.
Perfect. Thank you, Olive. Without your help, the concert would have been a disaster. Would you like to come as my guest?
I think I've heard enough bassoons for one day, thank you.
They both laughed, and as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I helped make a bassoon for a king.
Your head's been in the sun too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.
Olive the Ostrich! This is a spectacular place.
Olive saw a man with a huge curly moustache. He wore a red and black tunic with a crown on the front.
I'm Olive. Where am I, please?
I'm Beefy the Beefeater. You're on a tour of the Tower of London.
He answered.
I'm in London.
Olive found a camera hanging around her neck and snapped a few pictures.
And if you look to your right, you'll see the ravens. Tradition says they must never leave the tower, or the kingdom will fall. And not a single one has. Not on my watch, anyhow.
Hello, what's your name?
Olive asked.
Roberta,
And why do you look so sad, Roberta?
because I really want to explore London, like those tourists over there. I want to see all the sights, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, and especially Trafalgar Square.
But of course you can't leave the tower.
Said Olive.
No, and Beefy is always watching and counting us.
So you need to somehow get away without Beefy realising.
Olive looked around and saw an ice cream van nearby. She also saw a lady tourist wearing a long black raincoat.
An ice cream van. A black raincoat. I think I may have an idea. Please, can I borrow your raincoat?
Olive asked the lady, who nodded. Then she bought an ice cream cone from the ice cream van. Olive put on the black raincoat and stuck the cone onto her own beak, using the ice cream to make it stick. She looked just like a raven. Well, almost.
I'll pretend to be you, Roberta, while you go to see the sights of London.
Wow, great idea.
When Beefy was looking the other way, Roberta made a dash through the tower gates. Olive tried to blend in with the other ravens, but she was so tall she really stuck out. What was worse, the ice cream cone was melting, dripping into a growing puddle at her feet. Beefy walked over and began counting the ravens.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When he got to Olive, he stopped and raised an eyebrow. Said Olive. It was a pretty good impression of a raven. Beefy shrugged and continued to count.
5, 6 ravens. Excellent.
But now, Olive's ice cream had melted so much, the cone fell off her beak.
Hang on a raven counting minute. You're not a raven. You're an ostrich. I'd better count again.
Oh no, he's going to realise there's one raven missing.
Beefy began to count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5?
But just in the nick of time, Roberta came swooping in over the Tower of London's walls. She landed just behind Beefy. Said Roberta loudly. Beefy spun round.
Aha! There's number 6, all safe and sound. What was I thinking? It's not like these ravens ever leave the tower. Not on my watch, anyway.
Beefy walked off to get his dinner.
No, us ravens never leave the tower.
Chuckled Roberta. This made Olive and the other ravens laugh too. And as they did, Olive realised it was time to go.
Typical Olive, daydreaming again.
Said her mum.
Okay, actually, I've been a raven in the Tower of London.
Your head's been in the sand too long, dear.
Said Olive's dad. Her little brother laughed. But Olive wasn't listening. She was already dreaming of her next big adventure.